News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. Another worrying sign for the labor market. More people filed for unemployment last week than economists expected. Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
A big jump in jobless claims last week to 231,000. The initial claims 4-week moving average is at 212,000. And the continuing claims number rises as well to 1,844,000. So jobless claims up last week.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee reports the massive snowstorm in the South and East Coast last week could have affected those numbers. And the outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas released its report on job cut notices this morning. 108,435 job cuts for January. That's the highest January total since 2009. And JOLTS data came in lower than expected. The layoffs level was higher than forecast. U.S. job openings fell to its lowest level in more than 5 years, to 6.5 million in December. That's the lowest since September of 2020. A knockoff version of Novo Nordisk's weight loss pill is already on the market, launched by telehealth firm Hims & Hers Health. Hims will offer its copycat pill starting at $49 for the first month, then $99 every month for those who sign up for a 5-month subscription. Compare that to Novo's price of $149 a month. Novo Nordisk shares now down nearly 8%, and Eli Lilly shares down more than 6%. Bitcoin tumbled below $70,000 as negative momentum deepened across cryptocurrencies, hitting its lowest level since November of 2024, now down about 45% from its October high. Bitcoin shares now down about 7%. And the week-long sell-off in technology stocks and cryptocurrencies shows no signs of slowing down. Wedbush Securities Managing Director Dan Ives.
I'm hearing from clients I haven't heard from in a decade. They're that panicked or nervous not to explain some of these sell-offs. This is one. It is it's a structural sell-off on software that's unlike anything in terms of just core structural that I've ever seen.
And we check markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 down 0.8%. NASDAQ down 0.9%. The Dow is down 0.75%. The Russell 2000 index down 0.6%. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.21%. The 2-year yield at 3.49%. A sharp drop for Google's parent company Alphabet is pulling stocks lower. Alphabet shares now more than 3% lower after it reported a stronger profit, but also said it would spend more than expected on AI technology. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren says President Trump's choice of Kevin Warsh to lead the Fed is, quote, dangerous, and she'll oppose it.
Now he wants to appoint his man who's going to do exactly what he says at the Fed, and that's a takeover. And there are a lot of folks who know just how dangerous that would be, not just for our economy, but for American families who will end up doing the bailouts, paying the higher interest rates.
Later, Warren asked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent if he could guarantee that the president would not sue Warsh if he decides not to lower rates.
Can you commit right here and now that Trump's Fed nominee, Kevin Warsh, will not be sued, will not be investigated by the Department of Justice if he doesn't cut interest rates exactly the way that Donald Trump wants?
That is up to the president. Can you commit that you will?
I'm sorry.
Can you commit that you will not hold up?
He won't be sued if he doesn't drop interest rates.
Bessent was in his second day of testimony on Capitol Hill, delivering the annual report of the Financial Stability Oversight Council before the Senate Banking Committee. The Trump administration has announced changes to the way federal workers are classified. This will make it easier for the president to fire non-political public employees. The changes will reclassify some policy-related positions into a new category called policy career, loosening job protections and allowing political appointees to fire them. The Office of Personnel Management estimates the figure at about 50,000 workers. That's about 2% of the federal workforce to be affected by those changes. Keir Starmer never met Jeffrey Epstein, but the British Prime Minister's job is under threat because of the fallout from the late sex offender's global web of relationships. Starmer has apologized to Epstein victims for the decision to appoint Peter Mandelson as the UK's ambassador to Washington. He has since fired Mandelson. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey.
I am shocked by what we now learn about what went on during the financial crisis period, but Look, let me just offer two reflections. One really reinforces what I think the Prime Minister said this morning, that the most important thing in all of this is the victims.
Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey. UK Prime Minister Starmer is facing mounting pressure over the appointment after newly released documents revealed more details of Mandelson's close relationship with Epstein. British police are investigating Mandelson over potential misconduct in public office, but he's not accused of any sexual offenses. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.